Hi, I'm Rostislav Kuchevsky from English Speaker. This video is the first from the series about English idioms and proverbs. What is idiom? It is a manner of speaking that is natural to native speakers of a language. Every language has its own collection of idioms. The English, as well as other languages, is full of idioms, which are used very often here and there. And if you want to understand native speakers, you just have to understand these sayings. At least most commonly used ones. That's what this video is about. Well, the first idiom today is "It takes two to tango." The idiom refers to the South American dance, tango, which requires two partners to perform. Certain activities cannot be performed alone, such as quarreling, making love, and dancing the tango. They need two people to participate. The idea is that both people involved in the situation are equally responsible for it. And a few examples. We will never reach an agreement unless we sit down for a discussion. It takes two to tango. It's not right to blame only the other woman for his adulterous affair. It takes two to tango. If you want to play that game, you need a partner who will play with you. It takes two to tango. Number two, barking up the wrong tree. It means looking in the wrong place or accusing the wrong person. The origin of this idiom is believed to be rooted in dogs and hunting. When dogs barking under a tree where they mistakenly think their prey is hiding. Some examples. I'm not the person who spread those rumors about you. You are barking up the wrong tree. I think they are barking up their own tree by focusing on the problems they have. They should focus on the solutions instead. The police were barking up their own tree by trying to prove that person guilty. He was nowhere near the crime scene. The next, at the drop of a hat. If you do something at the drop of a hat, you do it immediately, without any preparation or planning, instantly. This phrase probably alludes to signaling the start of a race, fight, or other contest by dropping a hat. Some examples. She'd purchase her expensive jewelry at the drop of a hat and worry about how she would pay for it later. I'd quit my job at the drop of a hat if I didn't have a family to support. That girl is so emotional, she will start crying at the drop of a hat. Now, ball is in your court, which is the next idiom today. And this term obviously comes from tennis. It means it's your responsibility now. It's up to you to make the next decision or step. Examples. We've offered him $10,000 a month. So the ball's in his court now. They know our position, so the ball's in their court. If they want to pursue the matter, they'll have to make the next move. I've done all I can. Now the ball's in your court. Hear it on the grapevine. It means to hear some news from someone who heard it from someone else. This also often means to hear rumors about someone or something. The analogy in Russian would be сарафанное радио. Or in terms of rumors, I think that would be сорока на хвосте принесла. And some examples. I heard on the grapevine that he was being promoted, but I don't know anything further. I heard on the grapevine that our neighbors were expecting a baby, but I don't know much about it. I heard on the grapevine that she was pregnant, but I don't know anything more. The next idiom is costs an arm and a leg. It is used when something is very expensive or costly. It costs a large amount of money. This is an American phrase coined sometime after World War II. A probable reference is to soldiers who had lost their limbs in the war, thus having to pay a very high price for the war. Examples. This dress is really nice, but it cost me an arm and a leg. You must visit that restaurant. The food is really good, and it doesn't cost you an arm and a leg. This resort lets you experience luxury without having to pay an arm and a leg. Beat around the bush, or beat about the bush. It means to avoid talking about the main topic, not speaking directly about the issue. In Russian it would sound like ходить вокруг да около. That's what comes into my mind right away as Russian saying. If you know some other analogies, please leave it in comments. That would be really nice of you. And some examples with this idiom. Don't beat around the bush and tell me frankly what do you think of my proposition. Quit beating around the bush and tell me what you really want. You will have to learn to speak clearly about what you want. You won't get anywhere if you keep beating around the bush. And these are a couple examples of beating around the bush and direct speaking. Look at this. Well, Joe, I heard you were thinking about selling your car. Instead of, so Joe, how much do you want for that Explorer of yours? Or, Susie, what are your plans for the future? Instead of, Susie, will you marry me? The next is kill two birds with one stone. This idiom means to accomplish two different things at the same time. To solve two problems with one single action. And some examples. Cycling to work kills two birds with one stone. It saves money and gives you some exercise. I read the newspaper while sipping my morning cup of tea. Killing two birds with one stone. He dropped his kids to school while going to work. Killing two birds with one stone. Last straw. It means the final problem in a series of problems. Actually, this idiom is a short form of the proverb, it is the last straw that breaks the camel's back. When a camel is loaded down with much weight, finally at some point one more straw will be too much and the camel's back will break. Look at the examples. When our best player came down sick, that was the last straw that broke the camel's back. We hoped to make the playoffs, but lost all the rest of our games. When she showed up late a third time, that was the last straw that broke the camel's back. We had to fire her. This is the last straw. I'm calling the police. Well, Elvis has left the building, which is the final idiom today. And it means the show has come to an end. It's all over. This was announced at the end of Elvis Presley's concerts to encourage his fans to accept that there would be no further anchors and they should go home. And now it is used more widely to indicate that someone has made an exit or that something is complete. And a couple examples. We kept waiting for the band to come back on stage to perform some of the fans' favorite songs, but it looked like Elvis had left the building. That ball is flying and it looks like, yes, it's a home run. Elvis has left the building, folks. Jake went to the movies with his friends, and after 3 long hours, the movie had finally ended. Elvis had left the building and it was time to go home. Okay, I think that's enough for this time and hopefully it was fun and useful. If you like this video, please don't forget to subscribe and share it with your friends. Thank you very much for watching and see you soon.